Hey, what's up, sports bettors? Whew, figured let's go live. Let's make some money. If this game gets better because it's clearly not that good, then I'll watch the game. I'm just kidding, but I'll keep this up. May keep it short if there's something really exciting, but don't have a lot of money on the game at this point. Don't really care. So we can head into the Plus EV page. Obviously, it's very late at night. There's not going to be as many betting opportunities, but we can look for some good bets. So we're down slightly today. The Lakers money line. We showed this earlier. I had a live stream earlier today. Lakers money line plus 165 was incredible odds. They closed like if I go to my bet tracker dashboard, all that matters as a sports bettor, we've said this a million times, is beating the closing line, right? If you are consistently beating the closing line, which is really the power of the OddsJam bet tracker, you want to see a lot of green. We got the Lakers plus 165. They closed plus 152, to Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Like, we're going to be profitable. So I want to see a lot of green. And again, the bet tracker is free. It's one of the free features of OddsJam. So just sign up for an account, use the bet tracker. You can turn on CLV notifications, which is incredibly, incredibly powerful. And it's powerful because you will get an email, right, if your bet is no longer good to the closing line. So let's say, you bet on the Lakers and we bet on the Lakers and then LeBron ends up not playing and he's sitting. So the line moves against us. Then we can try to go and cash out our bet or hedge our bet, so it's a pretty useful feature. But anyways, we're still up $865. We've said this before, like our net profit is going to very closely mirror the numbers we see on the Plus EV page right here. So you can see there's a good amount of live bets if you're into live betting. Again, but lines just move a lot faster, so you really have to be on it. But we can try to hit a live bet. So Pistons plus 6.5 minus 145. So if I go here, then I go to alternate spreads, and we can see Pistons plus 6.5 plus 145. We can throw $100 on that. Why not? Come on, baby. And there we go. Pistons plus 6.5 plus 145. This bet has 4.98% edge to the market from the sharpest sportsbook in the world, right? So we just got a live bet down, so I feel pretty good about that. So we have Pistons plus 6.5, point spread plus 145, and then I'll put in parentheses live bet. Like I'm literally on the live stream, but the game is also live. We put $100 on it. The EV percentage is 4.98%. So our expected return by the time the game ends, which is why sports betting is so crazy, is 4.98% or roughly 5%. So my bet was good by roughly $5, right? And then we'll have to see if, we win or lose it, obviously. So against Nuggets. So this is pretty cool. And what we've said is like this percentage right here, 4.98% right here, that is your expected return. That is the expected return on your bet. We know this bet is good, right? It's an ARB to the sharpest sports book in the world, Pinnacle. And whenever an ARB exists, you know that there has to be a profitable bet, right? It's really that simple. There's no such thing as free money in sports betting. When there's an ARB, there's a good bet. So our bet has 4.98% edge or profit margin, which means we bet $100, we're gaining $5 in expected profit. And we've said this before, but we very closely, right? What you're going to see is, sports betting has variance. There will be bad days, good days, but we will very closely see our expected profit, hover around the net profit number. Due to the law of large numbers, what we're expecting to make is in the long run, these numbers will be very similar. And you can even see right now, they're pretty similar. We have $657 in EV just from placing bets on the Plus EV page. So, we just bet $100 on this. So we contributed $5 more in expected profit. And we're going to see that net profit number closely follow suit. So you can go to the, if you want to go to the OddsJam Sharp Betting blog, you can go to Sharp Betting. You can see, you can learn more about the kind of the math behind Plus EV betting and all that type of stuff. We have some good blog posts. So feel free to check that out. But anyways, let's hit some more bets. This bet's still out there. Looks incredible. Plus 145, Nuggets plus 6.5. If you're able to hit it, right? So what we can do now is I'll turn live off. Again, live odds, you're just going to have less of a hit rate, right? And you can see, like, here's another great bet. Every sportsbook has this plus 180 basically. FanDuel is plus 198. And then TwinSpires is just giving you plus 205, nearly an arb to Pinnacle. And this bet, has whatever it is, like 4.8% edge. So that's pretty good. And that seems, and of course it logged me out. So maybe I'll try to find a bet on WinBet or FanDuel or one of the sports books that kept me logged in. So I have 5 main sports books here in Arizona, right? Again, you need multiple sports books to be successful as a sports bettor. You're not going to make money with one sports book. It's just not possible. The power of sports betting comes in the fact that all of these sports books have different odds, right? So this is just Arizona. Like, if you want to see all the sports books, and I have a lot filtered out, you can just switch to like California or a state where there currently isn't regulated sports betting, and we'll show you them all. Like, freaking so many sports books. And what's crazy is all of these sports books have different odds, right? Like, so if you're in, let's say Colorado, which is the US state with the most sports books, it's like, if you wanted to bet on the Flyers tomorrow, why on earth would you ever place that bet on Fox Bet plus 115 when you can get plus 130 on Superbook, which is another sports book in your state, right? So the condition to being successful with OddsJam is you need multiple sports books. You need to have as many sports books as possible. All it means is more sign-up bonuses, which you can see right here. And I'm going to say this in every video because it literally is the number one key to becoming a profitable sports bettor, is you need to be aggressively line shopping, comparing odds between books and looking for value. So all these sports books have sign-up bonuses. All of these sports books are super regulated. They're not going to steal your freaking money. So get as many as possible. Go through all the links below. Go to our YouTube. Go to this live stream. Check out all the links below. Sign up for every single sportsbook in your location, and you will be a much more profitable sports bettor. And also, all these sportsbooks have different promos, right? Like, Caesars has a 33% NFL parlay boost, as well as they had this super profitable promo for tonight, which was bet on the first touchdown score market for the Buffalo's Chiefs game, and you receive a $25 free bet, right? So you bet $25 on the first touchdown score. Caesars gives you a $25 free bet. The EV of this promo is insanely high. So all these sportsbooks have different promos. They all have different odds. So the one condition to becoming, successful with OddsJam, or in general, just becoming a profitable sports bettor, is you need as many accounts as possible, right? Why would you ever bet on the Stars minus 150 if you can get minus 139? If you're placing bets at minus 150, when there are other books offering minus 139, you guaranteed will not make money in the long run as a sports bettor. So you can see the Chiefs are pretty big underdogs. So, I'll try to at least be a sports fan for a sec so we can flip back over here. Damn, that's a close game. Wow. So will be interesting to see how this turns out, but not that invested. So, you can see there's some good bets. I wish I had Sports Illustrated, not in Colorado. So going to switch back to Arizona. Maybe I got to move to Colorado. But we can look for some good bets, right? Some good positive EV bets. And I'll skip over TwinSpires for now. So again, you can just go to your settings. You can filter everything in your OddsJam settings. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to filter out TwinSpires. And then I'm going to go back to positive EV bets. I'll turn off the live. These things move very quickly, and we can see, what is out there for me. And you can see this is a very tight market, right? 20 cents of market width. Florida minus 5 is 3% EV to Pinnacle. The sharpest sportsbook in the world has this all the way down at minus 124, right? So Pinnacle's market is minus 124, minus 124, Florida minus 5, plus 104, Mississippi plus 5. So if we throw that into a no vig odds calculator, what this does is it just allows you to remove the juice, or remove the vig from a market to get an indication of the fair price for a bet, right? Which you can see is minus 113. So this bet is fair, minus 113, and we are getting minus 106 on Florida, which seems pretty dang good. So we can go here. We can go to Florida, -5, -106. FanDuel is going to be like, yo, you've made too much money off us. We're not giving you 500. And I'll be like, okay, word. I mean, that's fair. And I'll bet 132.55. So now we'll go here. I'll track it in my sheet. You can tail it. It's a good bet. Florida -5, 3.07% edge. So Florida -5, -106 odds. This has 3.07% edge, so 0.0307. We were able to bet 132.55, 132.55, which means that our expected profit is $4, right? So our goal as a sports bettor is place as many mathematically profitable bets as we can each day from the OddsJam plus EV page and just let the math work itself out. All of these bets have an expected profit margin. OddsJam simply is scanning the markets for you. All these freaking weird alternate lines, stuff like that, all different sports, college basketball, all the alternate spreads. OddsJam is constantly scanning the markets for you because most of these aren't good bets, right? Out of the 50,000 freaking odds on DraftKings at any given time, most of these bets aren't good, right? Because the VIG outweighs, if you're getting a slightly better line. Wow. Chiefs just scored. Wow. That's insane. So what a high scoring game. Which also puts our total at 62, which means this bet loses. I think I have a bet on this game. So I middled it. So I have 115.26 on the over 52. So that hit. And then I had $250 on the under 57.5. So that lost. Okay. So now my profit goes down to 700. So a little bit of mean reversion, right? My net profit is now very close to my expected profit from the OddsJam plus EV page. But essentially, like, the point of this market, right, is the way that Pinnacle makes money or any sportsbooks makes money is they don't charge you a fee. They don't charge you a fee for placing your bet, right? They don't charge you a fee. The way they make money is by giving you bad prices, right? So Pinnacle, they think -5 at -124 odds. Everything is dependent on the odds, right? A bet could be a terrible bet at a certain price and a great bet at another price. So, for example, if we go to this money line matchup for tomorrow, if you could get Flyers plus 160, just looking at the odds, it's an ARB to every book. That would be an absolutely insane bet, incredibly profitable. And if you could get Stars minus 110, that would also clearly be an incredible bet. So everything is about the odds you're getting. And no sports bettor wins every time. So just being even able to slightly improve the odds you're getting from, say, 5% or by 3% every time, you're going to see massive swings in your sports betting profit, right? That is the difference between over the course of a year, let's say you're placing 5 bets per day, getting 3 to 4% better odds is the difference between being really broke that year or making a lot of money sports betting, which is why line shopping is the number one tip for any new sports bettor, which you'll hear from anybody, is you need multiple sports books and you need to compare odds, right? That's why OddsJam is such a powerful product. It's all based in live data. There's no BS, no Square, Twitter, handicappers, right? Nothing like that. All just data. That's why OddsJam is such a powerful product. So, we can continue to go through lots and lots of bets. You can look for markets with tight market width, right? So again, this right here, under 6.5 goals. Granted, the edge is smaller, but the market width is pretty low. If we just click into this game and we go down to under 6.5, most sports books have this -155, -150, -145 -145, and we're getting some insane value on FanDuel at -134. This is a plus EV bet. Also, MMA, this is an ARB to Pinnacle, a ROSA -240, right? Insane value. So I actually want to bet this, right? It's an ARB to Pinnacle. Whenever there's an ARB to Pinnacle, you hit that bet. So we'll go here, and then let's see how much they give me. They're going to give me $599.50. Honestly, I'll take it. I kind of like him. I've been looking for a spot to bet on him. So we'll take this, and now we have a ROSA minus for a ROSA money line UFC minus 240. It's an ARB to Pinnacle. We have very high confidence that this is a fantastic bet. 599.5. Our expected profit. What was our profit margin from the plus EV page? So I'll add this to my bet tracker. You should always be adding bets to your bet tracker because, as a sports bettor, you want to know your profit and loss. That's the only way to know if you're making or losing money. But at the same time, you will get notified if the bet is bad, to the if the line moves against you, and then you may be able to cash out. Like I just placed this bet, right? And if I go to this fight and I go to my bets, you can see I can cash my bet out for full value. If I don't like it anymore, I can take it off, right? So if the line moves against you, OddsJam will send you an email alert and be like, hey, the line moved against you. Maybe you want to bet it. So you can see we have a ton of positive EV bets open. I don't discriminate sports. I bet on soccer right here. I bet on UFC. I have a lot of UFC. We have this Trayshawn Gore minus 120. I placed that a while ago in some YouTube short video, and you can see, right, like clearly good. 3 sportsbooks have minus 140. Even minus 130 looks a little decent, and we got a minus 120. And if the line moves against us, because it's in my bet tracker, OddsJam will send me a notification and be like, hey, your bet's no longer good. So you can look for markets with tight market width. But again, the whole point, right, of this, did I place another bet? No, I placed that UFC bet. Did I already add it? Yeah, I added it. So the whole point of this, right, is just like sportsbooks make money by charging a spread, right? The spread is right here. Wow, minus 115, minus 115. What is happening in this game? Absolutely insane. They're at the 19. Nobody is watching this live stream. I can't see the statistics, but guaranteed nobody. So, wow. So honestly, I feel like I should watch this game. So I'm going to call it an end to this live stream. But, we kind of discussed, we hit some good bets, sign up for multiple sports books. That's essential as a sports bettor. You need multiple sports books. You need to get them all in your state. Click all the links below, right? To sign up for all the sports books, we will take you to the highest possible deposit bonus in your state. Wow. Oh my gosh. I guess I can stay on the live stream. The Bills just scored. What an insane game. I can't believe I came back from dinner to do this live stream when that was the game I could have watched. But anyways, so the way that sportsbooks make money is by charging the vig or charging the juice, which is right here. Right? So Pinnacle, they don't think minus 124 odds on Florida minus 5 is a good price. They also don't think plus 104 on Mississippi is a good price. So what you do as a sports bettor is you take their market and you put it into a no vig odds calculator to get an indication of the zero vig line, right? Or the line without juice, right? The zero vig line, the line without juice, which gives you an estimate of the fair price. And it was, roughly minus 113. And that means that Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook out there, actually thinks Florida minus 5, because they have it favored, right? Once you remove the juice, should be roughly minus 113 odds. In Mississippi, plus 5 should be roughly plus 113 odds, right? Sports has variance, right? Like these sports books are pricing in what the market, what equal sides are betting, where they can balance wagers on both sides. And then they're setting a spread around that, and the sports books are making the spread, right? They're making the spread. It's like me, being like, yo, I'll buy this from you for $1, I'll sell it to you for $2, right? They're just making the spread. And when I tell you I'll buy something for $1 and I'll sell it for $2, you can kind of get an indication that, okay, you think it's worth between $1 and $2. You think it's worth maybe $1.50. Crazy game. So will be interesting to see if Patrick Mahomes can pull anything off, but Josh Allen, freaking 329 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, absolutely insane. But anyways, that's pretty crazy. What a crazy game. But we can kind of go through, that more in other videos. Essentially, the sportsbooks charge this spread. That's how they make money. So all you're doing is kind of like taking a midpoint of that as a sports bettor to be like, okay, what does the sportsbook actually think is the fair price, which would be roughly minus 113, right? So we're getting something that the sharpest sportsbook in the world, Pinnacle, thinks should be minus 113. We're getting it for better odds, minus 106. So that's a positive EV bet, right? If you're placing bets at, plus 105 that the sharpest sportsbook in the world thinks should be plus 100, you're beating the fair price. You're getting better odds than the fair price. You have a positive EV sports bet on. If you're placing bets at, let's say, plus 100 odds, when the zero vig line from Pinnacle is plus 105, then your bet has negative EV. You're placing bets that don't beat, the zero vig line from the sharpest sportsbook in the world. But essentially, it's exactly like if I'm a car salesman or a car broker, and I'm like, yo, I'll buy this car for 10,000 or I'll sell it for 12,000. It's like, okay, I'm making money as the car broker by buying stuff for a lower price and then selling it at a higher price. That's all the sports books are doing. They're being like, yo, we'll give you Mississippi, plus 5 at plus 104, but we'll give you Florida minus 5 at minus 124. So if people bet on both sides, right, the sports book just makes that spread because these numbers aren't equal. This is a market with VIG. If we go to a VIG calculator right here, Pinnacle's market was plus 104, minus 124. The VIG of this market is roughly 4%. So for every, $100 bet, Pinnacle's making over $4 risk-free just by taking the spread and providing you the service of being able to bet on them, right? So what you need to do as a sports bettor is remove that juice to get an indication of, okay, given that Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is making this their market, what should the line be? Right? What should the line be? And then if you're getting better odds than what the odds should be, that's a plus EV bet. If you're getting worse odds, that's a negative EV bet. So you can see, there's a lot of bets out here, a lot more bets that we could kind of go into. I kind of like these hockey bets, right? They have low market width. Each of them is 20 cents wide. Granted, the edge is a bit lower, but I mean, both of these look pretty good. This, a little bit low on the edge compared to what I usually like. But I mean, this is literally an ARB to Pinnacle, right? We've said this before. Whenever there is an ARB, you know that there has to be a good bet, right? If you can make risk-free money or have no loss of value by placing bets on two sports books, you know that there has to be a profitable betting opportunity. So insane. They're at the 44. So what a crazy game. What a crazy game. But anyways, we can keep looking for some good bets. So like here, for example, right? Liverpool versus Leicester, right? Sharpest sportsbook in the world, very efficient betting market for soccer, is only giving you plus 188 odds. You can get plus 220 on FanDuel. Granted, the market width is a bit higher, but you can see looks like pretty good value to DraftKings as well, which there's a market on for over under 4.5 goals. So we can take DraftKings market as well, remove the VIG from it to get an indication of the fair line. So DraftKings was plus 195, minus 280. So the fair line is plus 217, right? So DraftKings is telling me, hey, the fair price for this bet is roughly plus 217. We're getting plus 220 on FanDuel, right? That's better. Oh my God. How crazy is this? Freaking 72 points. It's 36-36. So that is absolutely insane. So I'm definitely going to watch that. Some live bets we can hit, clearly a lot of points in the Timberwolves Nets game, and the over looks like a pretty good opportunity to bet. But my point is you can use this no vig odds calculation on other sports books too. Plus 195, minus 280. The zero vig line from DraftKings was plus 217. We're getting better odds at plus 220. And then for Pinnacle, it's plus 118, minus 249. So plus 188, minus 249. So the fair price from Pinnacle for over 4.5 goals is plus 205, right? And we're getting plus 220 on FanDuel, which seems like a pretty, which is, a lot of value, 4.75% EV to Pinnacle's market, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So what I can do is go here. I can go to the Liverpool game. I can go in here. I can go to the Liverpool game, and then I can go to over under 4.5 goals. Where are you? And we'll go to goals. You want to move quick, right, to get in on the best goals. And then we see it's plus 220. This is a plus EV bet. Granted, again, the market width is a little wider. So if you're placing less bets on a daily basis, maybe you want to avoid this because there's a bit more uncertainty, right? When the market is very wide, that means Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is a bit less confident in their market, right? It's very wide. For a Chinese basketball game, you may see minus 120 on a money line for one team and minus 120 for the other team. So that market is just very wide. They're not confident in, their lines or setting their lines too tight. Whereas for an NFL game, you often see like minus 104 money line, right? Like the sports books are getting so much action on it. It's such an efficient betting market that they know, that they can charge minus 104 juice, and they're not worried about like getting picked off, right, by a very sharp bettor. Because the NFL is, there's millions of dollars being bet. It's such an efficient betting market. Whereas for a Chinese basketball game, the sports books are a lot less confident, so the market width is a lot bigger. So again, the Plus EV page is just a tool for you to go down, and figure out what bets you want to place. I cannot believe the Chiefs just scored. Oh my gosh. So 93.75 we just got on Liverpool. Over 4.5. This bet's on 210. Let me add it to my bet tracker. 93.75. So put this in here, 93.75. And then I'll go here. And then we have Liverpool versus Leicester City, 210. And yes, I'll place bets as far in the future, not years in the future, but lines are 50% to move in your favor or against you. So when you're betting, it's the same mathematical concepts that hold in terms of EV, right? This line has more time to move. Let's say all the good, soccer players sit in this game, except all the good defenders play and this total tanks, our bet could become terrible. But that's random, right? Lines can move in your favor or against you at any time. Like there are times I've had NBA bets open, on the Nets, and then it's just like, oh, Durant isn't playing, and the line moves way against me. Whereas there are other times I bet against the Nets, and it's like, oh, Kyrie Irving isn't playing, and the line moves way in my favor, right? But these things are random. It's not like you can see the future, right? Sports betting is a very, you're looking for value in the odds, and you're understanding that you're taking a risk with every plus EV bet that you place. But you're trusting the mathematical concepts behind it, which hold up, and is why so many people use OddsJam, right? So 4.0457%. So we have a 5% return. We're betting 93.75, 445 in expected profit. And again, just our goal as a sports bettor is have as many of these plus EV bets placed per day, and we're forming our own little hedge fund, right? All our bets are mathematically profitable. They are positive EV from the OddsJam Plus EV page. And again, if some of the math is going over your head, you're a bit confused, that's fine. Still go to the description, sign up for every sportsbook, sign up for Caesar, sign up for BetMGM, sign up for Unibet, all the sportsbooks in your state, and then just head over to the blog or email us. And, we're happy to kind of explain to you the concepts, but we have a lot of content, both on our blog as well as YouTube, kind of explaining these concepts more in depth. Like it's our goal at OddsJam to help sports bettors, make as much money as possible and to become more informed sports bettors, right? We want every sports bettor to be line shopping and to be at least comparing odds, because you are literally guaranteed to lose money if you are placing bets at frickin' minus 120 odds when there's a sports book in your state offering minus 108 odds. You will lose money, right? Okay. So I'm going to call it a day. I placed some positive EV bets. Hopefully these hit. We're just going to, tail my bets when I'm betting live. We're up $700. We had $675 in EV bet. I got to watch this game, and have a wonderful rest of your day.